What is going on, guys? In this video today, I'm going to be discussing the shocking change that Epic made to controller Fortnite a few days ago. I'm sure 99% of you guys have already heard about it in some capacity, but in case you haven't, on Friday, totally out of the blue, the Fortnite Status Twitter account tweeted, "With the improvements we've made to aim assist, we plan to remove the Use Legacy Look control setting on March 13th. To use the new settings and maintain your legacy sensitivities, select Copy from Legacy in the controller options and toggle off Use Legacy Look controls." And then they follow that up immediately after with, "Note, players who have Use Legacy Look controls enabled when the setting is removed will have their legacy sensitivities automatically converted to the new sensitivity settings." So Fortnite made it pretty clear cut with those two tweets. Legacy aim assist and settings will be totally removed from the game on the 13th. And whenever you load up the game, there's actually a screen on the main menu that is literally counting down the days until Legacy is gone, which for my fellow Legacy players out there is kinda like adding insult to injury. So I was initially going to make this video as soon as this was announced, but I decided to hold off for a day or two to kind of get my thoughts in order and also see how other players are reacting as well. So now I feel a lot more prepared to make this, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So as I alluded to in the intro, I've pretty much been a Legacy player for my entire Fortnite career. When the advanced sensitivity and aim assist options were initially added into the game, I did try linear a few different times, but I always found myself going back to Legacy. So when I first saw this tweet scroll across my timeline, I would say I was a combination of a little sad, little confused, and even a little angry, but don't worry because we'll get into much more detail about the anger portion in a bit. So the reason why I was a little upset when I first read this is because I'm typically someone that has a mindset of, if it ain't broken, don't fix it when it comes to settings. Like I said, it's not like I never tried linear. I did give it a decent shot on multiple different occasions, but I just always felt a bit more comfortable with Legacy. And the main question I had at this point was basically, why now? I'm not sure how many of you guys remember this, but back when the new settings and aim assist were first added, there was actually a lot of speculation that Legacy would be removed. And to be fair, the logic behind that possibility was very solid. Fortnite had totally overhauled the way aim assist and settings worked with the new options they added into the game, so them removing the old one wouldn't have been some super crazy decision. Yeah, it definitely would have gotten some hate at first because people didn't realize how good the new aim assist was until a few weeks later, but if everyone was forced to switch, that would have been discovered much earlier and the hate would have died down pretty quickly. But when the update was released, legacy settings and aim assist were still available. Epic never said they had any plans of removing them, so everybody just kinda assumed that they were here for good. So first off, I think it's kinda unfair that Fortnite would kinda lull all the Legacy players into thinking they were good to go and then drop a bombshell on them 3 to 4 months later. But then I started to see some tweets and think about things some more, and that's when the confusion and sadness turned into straight up anger. First off, as much as I love Fortnite, I'm willing to admit that it's far from a perfect game, and I think most people would agree with that. Just to name a popular example of a problem that relates to controller players specifically, for the last 4 months, if you press Y/triangle when you're near a down player, which happens fairly frequently, you'll pick that player up, which makes you totally vulnerable since you can't build and it gets people killed all the time. It's super annoying, and controller players have been begging for months now, not even for Fortnite to remove the pickup enemy feature because it's actually pretty good, but just give us the option to rebind the pickup action to a different button. I don't have much knowledge about coding or game development, so I'll admit it's possible I'm wrong, but that seems like such a simple fix. And the funny thing is, as if that wasn't bad enough, now if you press X/square on a downed enemy trying to reload, you'll shake that player down, which makes you vulnerable for even longer than when you pick an enemy up. So my question is, Fortnite, why are you focusing on removing legacy aim assist and settings when there are so many much more pressing issues in your game right now? It honestly feels very unfair to controller players, and I think even if you play on linear, you should care about this because who knows what might be removed/changed next. And I'm sure some people would respond to that question by saying, oh, well, the reason they removed legacy was because a bunch of mouse and keyboard players hated it, they called it OP, and they kept asking Fortnite to remove it. Yeah, fair enough. I think maybe 2 months ago that was definitely true, but for the past few weeks, and especially since Chapter 2 Season 2 began, mouse and keyboard players have been complaining about linear much more than legacy. I really like this tweet from Scoped where he said, mouse and keyboard players are so excited legacy is gone until a linear player jumps in their box. And speaking of more pressing issues regarding controller Fortnite, now that I've been playing on linear for a little, I'm struggling with one aspect of the game more than anything else. I'm sure most people would guess long range aim or maybe just aim in general, but it's actually editing. Well, that's really interesting because pretty much everybody knows editing's easier on linear, so why am I struggling? Well, it's because Fortnite never added edit mode aim assist to the new settings, even though it was always an option in Legacy. I don't think I've ever heard anybody call edit mode aim assist overpowered or say that it's something that should be removed from the game, so it makes no sense that they made it available in Legacy but not in the new settings. And I'm sure there are plenty of people suffering the effects of that weird decision now that they're forced to play without it on linear or Expo. Another thing I want to share here is a very interesting theory that could possibly explain why Fortnite randomly decided to remove Legacy. I made a full video about this a few days ago, but at the beginning of this season, players discovered that Legacy Aim Assist could now track enemies through builds, cornfields, and bushes even if they couldn't actually see the player. And it was this weird thing where everybody kind of felt like it was a glitch and not an intended buff, but Fortnite never said a word about it even though it garnered a lot of attention. So the theory that some people are spreading around is that the reason they removed Legacy is because they tried to fix those glitches but couldn't actually do it. CRR tweeted, they removed Legacy because they didn't know how to fix the aimbot through walls and bushes, LMAO. Velocity said, no way, they took out Legacy because they didn't know how to fix a glitch, LMAO. And Fnatic Motor, who's actually a mouse and keyboard player, tweeted, I can't believe at Fortnite Game is removing Legacy aim assist because they can't fix the bugs. Like, let's just mess up most of the controller players for no reason. What a joke. So I don't know if I personally believe that, but it's definitely a really interesting theory, and I'd like to know if you guys think there's any truth to it. Another interesting tweet that I really liked regarding the removal of Legacy was actually from Upshaw. He said, I don't know how good of an idea removing Legacy is for longevity. And he's referring to the longevity of Fortnite in case that wasn't already obvious. The vast majority of players rarely even open the settings menu, and tweaking how the game feels for them might turn them off from playing anymore. Interesting decision from Epic. So definitely a unique opinion, and I think there's actually a lot of truth to that statement. Sure, are good players going to be fine in the long run going from Legacy to Linear or Expo? Yeah, I'd say so. But asking very casual players to suddenly learn a whole new form of aim assist and settings may be the tipping point for a lot of people when it comes to not wanting to play the game anymore. I have a friend that used to play Fortnite a lot, but over time his life has gotten more and more busy, so now he only hops on for maybe 2 to 3 hours each week. And when I told him about Legacy being removed in a few days, first off, he didn't even know what Legacy was, so that was a bad start. But then, when I gave him settings and made him switch to linear, he had a horrible experience while playing. He found it really hard to aim, edit, and build, and about halfway through the session, he literally switched back to Legacy because he wanted to go back to normal. Now, I warned him that in about 5 days, switching back to Legacy won't be an option anymore, but he basically said that he'll cross that bridge once he gets to it. And I'm just kind of concerned that eventually when those 5 days come around and he has to go back to linear, he's not going to want to play the game anymore. Simple as that. And I know that that's just one individual case, but I have a bad feeling that many other players out there share that same exact mindset. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on Fortnite randomly deciding to remove legacy aim assist and settings from the game? Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.